Hey everybody, Steve Prziborowski here. Welcome to episode 70 of Reach for the Firefighter Badge. Episode 70 is going to build upon the last couple of episodes. We'll be discussing more tips to set you up as a newly hired firefighter for success, because you only get one chance to make a great positive first impression. So start off with your best foot forward, and it'll definitely help you build a solid reputation as you move on. So let's get going. As a reminder, my two websites have lots of great free information on them, as well as more information on 2 of the 3 books I've had published to help you be the best firefighter you can be. So lots of great information on the websites to help keep you focused on getting that badge of your dreams. So in the previous episode, number 69, we discussed 7 more tips to set the newly hired firefighter up for success. Let's continue with some more tips to help you be the best newly hired firefighter you can be. So think about this, number 16, while you're driving to the academy or the firehouse during probation each day, don't drive with your blinders on. Meaning so many people are just so programmed to just take the same route every single day. Don't be that type of person. Zoom out 10 clicks, as they say. Take different routes. Start learning the streets, because again, when you get hired on a department, one of the requirements may be to learn all the streets, the major thoroughfares, the target hazards, everything. So what better way, because some people learn by looking at a map, most people learn by actually doing. So take the time to physically take different routes, learn different areas, learn different things, hydrant locations, streets, all those different things. It's a great way to start familiarizing yourself with your area, so you don't look like an idiot when you're in the fire engine and you're told, hey, go over here. Where's that? Try your best. Also spend your money within the city at different locations to spread the wealth and learn different areas. Because if you haven't figured out by now, your jurisdiction relies on tax dollars from sales taxes, from property taxes to keep them afloat and to pay your salary and provide your benefits and so forth. So spend your money in your jurisdiction, because it goes back to your fire department and eventually yourself. So try to do those things when possible. Some other items. I've talked about learning other things, but learn as much as you can about your new department. I've pretty much touched on this in the past, so it's sort of a repeated item. My apologies, but I think it's important to repeat. So I'm going to briefly talk about it. Learn as much as you can about your new department, history, politics. Every department's got history. Every department's got politics. So learn as much as you can. Hot buttons, good things, not so good things. If your department has a museum, by all means, check it out. Maybe see if you can assist. If your department has published a yearbook in the past, by all means, get it, because it's a great way to learn names and faces, as well as maybe history. Obviously, get to know your retirees. Each of them can provide some valuable information to help you learn as much as you can. Sadly, a lot of people today don't like history. So speaking of driving your area, as I mentioned in number 16, if you can attempt to locate a physical map, I say attempt because in today's world, it's hard to find a physical map. 20 years ago, you could go to a gas station or a convenience store and buy a map. It's pretty much impossible to find physical maps now at gas stations, convenience stores, supermarkets, because everyone's digital these days. You go to your smartphone, Google Maps, MapQuest, whatever mapping software. But the reason I'm saying physical map, even if you print it out from Google Maps or MapQuest, have something in front of you. What I did when I was a new firefighter trying to learn my area is I was able to get one of the old school maps, one of the big fold out gas station maps of the city. And what I did is I actually, it was about maybe 2 feet by 3 feet, give or take. I found a piece of cardboard. I taped it securely to the cardboard. Obviously I was going to write on it, so I made sure it was very secure to the cardboard. I think I even laminated it to the cardboard, if I remember, or glued it. But anyway, I had this big cardboard piece. It was the map, and I drew the fire stations on it. I highlighted the major target hazards such as high schools, junior high schools, colleges, elementary schools, major commercial shopping centers, major just commercial stores, maybe, other important businesses of note, that have large, maybe dollar loss potential if they catch on fire, or life loss potential, like hotels, retirement facilities, hospitals, because those are places that you're going to probably go to on a regular basis. So the sooner you can learn the locations and the addresses, the better off you're going to be. I remember some guys laughed at me because I had that map, but it's like 20 years later, I still see that map at that fire station when I go there every now and then. I'm actually pretty proud to see that map still on the wall as a piece of history. I mean, most people probably don't realize that I was the one that created that map, but you know what? I'm the one that created it. And it was my reminder of this is how I'm going to learn my area, because I don't want to be embarrassed when my captain says, hey, Steve, take us to over there, because I was a driver. Where's that, Cap? I don't know how to get there. That's embarrassing. Learn your area. Don't make excuses, you know? So find some way without relying on technology, without relying on your smartphone to get yourself around your first due area in different, you know, at night, during the day, in rainy weather, inclement weather. Have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. So all good things. Learn your areas. On that subject, as I talked about the target hazards, the major facilities, start learning those addresses, marking them on your map, because again, you're going to respond to those at any given day. And if you can have those places in your brain, even if you're a firefighter, it's going to be valuable. And here's an example why, because let's say you're a part of a 3-person crew. You're the probationary firefighter, and your regular captain and regular engineer are called in sick for the day. So now you have an overtime captain, overtime engineer who don't work normally at your station. They're not familiar with the area. You may be the one getting them to calls. I remember as a probationary firefighter having that situation where all of a sudden they're panicking because they don't know how to get there. And all of a sudden I go, hey, start heading out the station, make a right here, make a left here, make a right there, head down about, you know, through 2 stoplights, make the right. It'll be on the right side of your street about halfway down the street. And then you get the captain going, how the hell do you know that? Because I study my area and I learn my area. Good job, Broby. Yeah. So it's a team effort. So we got to help the team out. So learn as much as you can. And again, facilities you're going to be responding to. Learn the addresses, as I mentioned, of all the key target hazards in your new jurisdiction. Because like I said, you're going to respond to them on a regular basis. So it's great to know that information so you can help yourself and help others out. Also, make sure you learn all the major streets, the major thoroughfares, the freeways, and also how to access, because if you really know every freeway, not every freeway has 4-way access, meaning when I say 4-way access, if you really think about it, let's say there's a straight freeway or limited access expressway. Most of the time, if the freeway is going under, say, Main Street or over Main Street, usually there's an exit and then another way to get back on the freeway if you got off by accident. And then on the opposite side of the freeway, same thing. There's an exit to Main Street and then an entrance for Main Street. But there are some thoroughfares or freeways that if you exit to Main Street, you can't get back on. So know those little uniquenesses about your area, because you may not be able to get on the freeway at every major street like you think you could. Just because there's an exit doesn't mean there's an entrance, if that makes sense, and vice versa. Start learning as well which way the numbers go up and down, because when you have any street, avenue, boulevard, numbers usually always start in the low end on one end and then they increase. And then usually odds are on one side of the road, evens are on the other. So learn which side the odds are, the evens are. I was always taught oddballs are in the Northwest. Sounds strange. Oddballs are in the Northwest, meaning odd number streets, the last digit, are either on the north side of the street or on the west side of the street. I can't say for certain that that's that way everywhere around the country, but at least in our jurisdiction, the odd numbers were on the north and the west, which means the even numbers that ended in that even digit or character or number were on pretty much the south part or the east part. So little things like that. So obviously, if you see a street address like 501, it should be the first house in the corner. Just like 599 should be the other side of on the corner, whereas 550 should be in the middle of the street. So again, those little things that people may or may not teach you. Don't rely on, well, the iPad's going to route us to the call. Yeah, guess what? Stuff happens and technology doesn't work sometimes. Your goal is to function in the absence of technology. That's where we fail as a society, as we rely on technology when it goes like, shit, I don't know. Well, most departments also have map books, old school map books, but they may not be up to date. And then when that fails, know your area. That's the most important thing, is knowing your area. So I talked about having a spare set of street clothes in your car in a previous tip, but now I suggest also keep a spare uniform with you. Obviously, keep it secure and out of sight in your vehicle, because it's not uncommon if it's in public view. Hey, it's got a fire department patch in it. Someone may steal it. It happens, even in the best of neighborhoods. Also, be careful about driving in your uniform, because you think about it, you usually have a patch on the side. Most cops and firefighters don't drive around in their personal vehicle with their uniform shirt on. They may have a throw-down shirt over, a sweatshirt or something, because we're targets. Like it or not, the fire department patch doesn't look any different from a law enforcement patch. And to some people, even if they see fire or know we're fire, we're still authority in some people's eyes. So it could be a safety issue if you drive around with your uniform on. You may be mistaken for something, and that's sad that we live in that world, but it's the reality is. So try not to be visible, but also have that spare uniform, because what's to say that you don't spill something on your uniform and you don't want to, well, sorry, Cap, I didn't have a spare uniform. You should have prepared ahead. We issue out multiple sets of uniforms. Some departments make you buy the uniforms, but then again, make sure you buy a number of different sets so you have spares, because especially if you have to dry clean them, they may be gone for days on the dry cleaner. So know what works best for you. So in the next episode, number 71, we'll continue to discuss more tips to help you be the best newly hired firefighter that you can be. So as always, thank you very much for the gift of your time. Please feel free to reach out if I can ever be of assistance to you. And until the next episode, be safe, take care, and we'll see you soon, everybody.